Okay, so the first one that we're gonna do is gonna focus on the trapezius and the levator scap, two muscles that overwork during a traditional office work setting, okay? So what you're gonna wanna do, unless you have shoulder problems, put your hand behind your back, put your chin to your chest, and roll away from the side where your arm is behind your back, and then a little light over pressure, and you can even roll that back and forth, feeling a nice stretch right around your ear, all the way down to the back of your next one is a sneaky one. You've been working on a case, working on the computer for hours and hours. You don't really notice anything's getting tight, but the whole time you're probably looking something like this. This entire time you're going to be shortening all of the muscles on the anterior side of your body. So a really good one for this is just to bring your arms up at 90 degrees like this, and you want to focus on your extension right in the middle of your back and look up, and then take a big breath in and let it out. This is going to open up all of the muscles that have been short while you've been on your computer. So the next one is for those of you that start to feel a little numbness in your hands, a little stuffiness going down your arm if you've been working on a computer for too long, holding books for too long. So we're talking about a big group of nerves that exits right at the front of your neck and goes all the way down to your palms and into your fingertips. So what we want to do is we want to take all those short muscles that have been sitting on those nerves and stretch them out. So you're going to take your arm and you're going to put it past your torso here. You're going to take your chin and go up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to drop the opposite ear of the arm that's back behind your torso away from that arm, and you might elicit a little bit of that tingling, but that's okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to close it down, touch your opposite shoulder with your hand, and put your opposite ear to the opposite shoulder. If I didn't confuse you enough, here we go. We're going to do it a couple times. Up through, a little bit of that tingle, and then close it down. And what you're going to do is you're going to offset a little bit of that shortening that's happening on the front of the shoulder. Okay, so let's think that we've been sitting for a while. We want to stand up, but let's make this productive. We want to take this 90-degree angle, which is hip flexion, and do the opposite. So we're going to take this leg, we're going to kick it back behind our pelvis. We're going to lean back gently, slowly, unless it hurts your back. And then what we want to do is lean away from the leg that's back, and what we're doing is we're opening up all these hip flexors that have been in this shortened position, and now we take them into a lengthened position. Feels really nice. Take a deep breath, and we can offset a lot of that shortening of the hip flexors. So this is really nice, but I understand that doing a hip flexor stretch in this position is also tough to be productive. So here's one where we get some of the hip flexors without the big yoga move. So you can put your knee right down onto the ground, and you're going to focus on this pelvic bone, leaning slightly until you start to feel a stretch right up to this pelvis bone. These are your quads. They are hip flexors along with being knee extenders. So now in this position, say my desk is right here, I'm still working, I'm still doing this, I'm taking my calls, I'm doing whatever I need to. All the while, I'm offsetting again that shortening that's happening on the hip flexors when I'm in this traditional position here.